Welcome to Escape This Podcast, a show that's a mix between tabletop role-playing and escape room puzzles. This is a slightly different episode because I'm running the room. I am your game master today, and I have full control over the show.
Wow, that's so amazing. You do all of the production work, and now you've written a room as well?
Well, I have not written a room. This room was sent to us, and it was actually, and I apologize for this, sent to us in 2019 to run, or not specifically to run on the show, just to run as people, a fun game for us to play. It was sent by a great fan of the show, Nikki Tan, and then I forgot about it, and I feel terrible. And so, now I'm going to run it, but I'm not just going to run it in person, I'm running it on the show. So this is Nikki Tan's escape room. I'm taking over the game master role.
Thank you so much, Nikki.
Which means Dani gets to play.
I do.
But we thought, okay, Dani needs a friend. It's never fun to play one of these rooms by yourself. And we thought, who'd appreciate playing a room with Dani? Well, I know. How about Neil Patrick Harris? Welcome to the show, Neil.
What?
I'm so glad that you get to play with Dani. Because
No, sorry. My earplugs.
Oh, sorry. We're
I was
welcoming.
just saying, what?
Well,
Everyone at home. Neil's he's a very old man. He's quite old. He had to take his hearing aids out to put his earbuds in, and so it ruins it.
What? Okay. Hi, it's such a pleasure to be here again. I love doing this.
It should be a lot of fun. I thought it would be nice for you to be able to play with Dani this time, because you played with me before, and then you've been on a couple times since.
And we've done little group things, but not recorded for this.
Yeah, so I thought it'd be nice.
And every time, what people don't know because they listen to this podcast is that we're seeing each other on
that's true.
on our computer screens, and normally I'm watching Dani with sort of an eyebrow up expression of like, oh, you think you're going to solve this, do you? She's kind of got this know-it-all air of superiority, like someone who's like reading from a pulpit with a Bible at church.
I do grant you, this is why I can't listen to our episodes after they've come out, because I feel that comes across in my voice as well.
Yeah, every time Dani hears it, I'm like, I seem so sarcastic and rude.
It doesn't. But now I can actually watch Dani's face and we can work together.
Through the pain and the struggle part.
You get to be allies in a war against me. That's how this show is, right? Like a war between the game master
is.
Yeah, everyone knows to run an escape room, you really want to make sure that all your players have a terrible time and fail. Every episode when we have guests on, we ask the same two questions, and we so rarely get to answer these questions. So I'm going to ask Dani. Dani, you're a contestant today, and this is an escape room podcast. What's your escape room experience?
I have done some escape rooms, but weirdly, compared to a lot of enthusiasts, don't keep very good track. I think that we've established that we may have hit real-world rooms. Have we hit 100? I can't remember.
I've no idea.
No idea.
Every time we tell another enthusiast that we don't have a spreadsheet of every room we've ever done, they're shocked. They look at us like we're freaks for not keeping meticulous count of every single room we've ever done.
And I mean, compared to you, I've only played a small fraction as well, because you've gotten to play all of mine.
True.
Good point.
And then, Neil, has there been any update to your escape room experience since you were last on the show?
I just love the escape rooms. I can't get enough of them. Everywhere I go, I try and see where an escape room is. And I more so, I wish that there was a local person to tell me which ones were the good escape rooms versus just the kind of mediocrity, right? Because you want to do the good one.
Of course.
So recently I was in Las Vegas, Nevada, home to Emily Gillette, who was my partner in crime for the last episode that I did. And Emily took me and my husband, David, and our friend Harrison Greenbaum, hilarious comedian who's also in Mad Apple, and his wife, Emily, and we went and did a couple escape rooms in one day. We did the basement, we did one called the study, and I loved it. That's my escape room experience of late. I was honestly most impressed with my husband, who is not a gamer. He is not a puzzler. And I kindly made a request for him to maybe try and do them more often so we could have a thing we do together, because I'm always just finding Emily Gillettes to do escape rooms with. And I wish I could do them with David. And so David did 2 in one day. And the last one we started at 11:45 p.m. And he did great. He persevered, and I think he had some fun. So I think the bonding of it all was good. Our minds were mush, but the experience was lovely.
That's okay.
Wonderful.
You've roped him in.
And then the other element of this show is escape rooms mixed with tabletop role-playing. Dani, We have talked about this quite a lot on the show, but what is your tabletop role-playing experience?
Well, I first started tabletop role-playing games when I was, 16, because you introduced them to me.
True.
You got a little friend group together and showed us how to play these things.
Mm-hmm.
And played a few since then. Honestly, not all that much. I've done a decent chunk of GMing because I like controlling things and don't improvise well. But when I do play, my big rule is that I have gotten too soft in my older age to do all of the killing things. So my characters tend to just like be a person with a job or a goal that steers them away from killing quite a bit. Like, we did a Fallout themed campaign and my character was the daughter of the safety inspector.
Yep.
And so she just wanted to get rid of all the violence and unsafe things in the world. If she had to use a weapon, it was a frying pan and nothing more.
Perfect.
Sounds like a really exciting game.
I'm
That
a
was
safety
wonderful.
inspector. Oh,
Please, whatever you do, don't attack, don't fight, no fireworks. Let's just talk this out.
Oh, yeah. And then, Neil, has your tabletop role-playing experience changed at all since you were last on?
It has not at all. And I'm realizing I grew up playing Dungeons and Dragons, watching my older brother Brian and playing a bit. And now my son Gideon plays a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, and I've sort of played a bit through him. And that's been it. Like, I don't know the different versions. And I think we've talked about this before,
Yes,
but I
there's
don't
lots of different
really
little games
pay attention to our conversations. So what would you
I listen
recommend?
to you.
What would be the singular? Okay, here's my question for both of you.
Okay.
What would be the singular tabletop game that is not Dungeons and Dragons that you would recommend that I introduce Gideon to, that he wouldn't say pish posh, that's nothing like D&D, but that he'd go, oh.
Okay, now that's interesting, because there's a whole world of like games that are filling the same function as Dungeons and Dragons, right? So the classic example is always Pathfinder, which is very, very
That's
similar.
basically
which
almost
is
identical.
basically just D&D, slightly different. So
And-
you wouldn't even really transition from one to the other.
And
Unless
then
you're really like, oh, I prefer the action economy of Pathfinder 2nd
Yeah.
edition over Dungeons and Dragons. Like, that's
Yeah,
it's very specific
But then
stuff.
you've got the ones that sort of just shift focus a little bit more, like Blades in the Dark, I'd say.
Blades in the Dark. It's still
Writing it down.
quite rules heavy, but that's about like having a group of criminals who perform heists every time you play and try and
that's
grow
cool.
their criminal empire in a. And then there are lots of people who've done like hacks of Blades in the Dark, so it's like the same rules in different contexts. Because then, like, a lot of times people jump all the way to the opposite. Like, you can do, like, the one-page RPGs, like Honey Heist, which is just a single thing, very few rules, and it is, you're all bears, and you need to steal some honey, and you roll up and when you roll up a character, instead of rolling all of your stats and rolling all your skills, it's like, pick a type of bear, pick a type of hat, pick a type of criminal archetype, go. And so,
Really?
yeah, and so, like, there's some
Oh, yeah.
great little fun things like that. You could play Gateways, which is a game that I wrote.
I like your Gateways episodes.
Yeah, so you can play Gateways. It's fun and easy to go. But those are like very opposite of Dungeons and Dragons because they're very
D&D.
like they're filling a completely different space, right? Which is these are for short form, fun, rules light play, whereas Dungeons and Dragons are like, hey, here's some tactical combat.
And then there are some that are specifically, I don't even know what the rules are for a lot of them, but they're trying to fill a niche of, you like this particular fandom, you like this TV show, you like this movie, you like this video game, let's do one where the rules set around that world.
Like, and one of the classic forms of that is stuff like Monster of the Week, and all the other like Powered by the Apocalypse games, which usually are quite specific to like a feeling or a genre, and they play with like proper rules, but they're a bit more narrative focused and a little less focused on minutia. And so you get anything that's powered by the Apocalypse. It's a common sort of like rule set.
You have
Yeah.
made me a better parent.
Yeah,
So
find some
thank
cool
you.
stuff. All right, so we should probably get into it. And usually this is when I prep Dani to get into it, but I have to.
I
be the
got
one.
nothing. I haven't even
Oh,
drawn a rectangle.
Oh no. Okay, hold on. Okay. You have decided to go on a relaxing sail around the English Channel.
Oh.
All's going well, everyone's having a good time. But then you spot something in the distance. A large ship. It's a fabulous looking ship, and you can hear the sounds of celebration on board. You decide to see what the party is all about. And as you get closer to the ship, though, suddenly a thick mist fills the air.
Ghost ship, ghost ship, ghost
You
ship.
start to feel cold, Your breath is forming in front of you. You can see it on the cold air. Before your eyes, and there's a horse. There's a horse galloping around the boat.
Motorbikes. There are motorbikes.
Motorbikes. Oh, then what?
I tried to draw a ship. It's just a pointy cupcake.
All right.
Nice.
And before your eyes, the ship transforms from a majestic schooner to a floating wreck. You start to feel woozy, and before you pass out, you see the name of the boat, Lady Loverbond.
It's a great drag name.
Yes, true. You wake up, and looking around, you immediately know that you are on the ghost ship. You've heard of the Lady Loverbond before, as a spooky story from your childhood. From what you know, the Lady Loverbond was a legendary schooner that wrecked off the Kent coast on the Goodwin Sands, and is said to reappear every few decades as a ghost ship. The captain, Simon Reed, had just gotten married and took his new wife and crew on a honeymoon voyage to Portugal, despite the long-standing superstition that it was bad luck to bring a woman on board. It's unknown exactly what happened to the ship, but legend says that the ghost of Simon Reed still haunts the ship and captures those who come aboard. It's said that the ghost just wants to find his wife again and find out what happened to his ship.
Well, according to my drawing, the ship is about the size of Spain.
Good.
According to my picture, there's a big rectangle.
Perfect.
Big square waiting to draw a room.
Oh, there's no room in this one. I just talk about a ghost ship for an hour and then you go home.
I'm into it. Tell me more.
Well, what I will say as a preface, and it has a preface here in the notes,
Ooh.
This is an escape room, but it's also a little bit of a mystery. You need to find out what happened to the ship and why it ran aground.
Why ship? Where wife?
You begin to look around the deck and immediately notice some lanterns by your feet. They are unlit. On the main deck, along the sides of the ship, are cannons. What's a ship without cannons?
Man, what were they expecting on this honeymoon?
Oh, they're heading to Portugal. You can't trust the Portuguese. You gotta bring cannons if you're heading to Portugal. Beside the cannons, there are barrels of gunpowder and cannonballs. In the center of the ship, in the middle, there is a trap door built into the ship's floor. Maybe as a brig or storage.
Of course.
Towards the rear end of the ship, the stern, you see large doors to the captain's quarters. But they appear to be locked. On either side of the doors, there are staircases that lead up to the helm, where you can see the steering wheel. Out of the corner of your eye, you see a blur, an undefined sort of blurring sensation that disappears whenever you look at it. And you can hear a voice saying, "Where's my wife? I must talk to my wife."
Oh, man.
It appears to be the ghost of Simon Reed.
Oh my gosh, he exists?
Well, it appears to be. Maybe it's just someone standing right outside your vision, asking about their wife.
Oh, that's true.
You never know. Maybe they're just real quick.
It is foggy.
It is foggy. And with that, you're free to investigate the ship. Look around the wreck of the Lady Loverbond.
I'm drawn to the trap door in the center of the room.
I agree. If we want to know where his wife is, if someone accidentally put her down there, it feels like we should check that first.
My suspicion is it's likely locked. But let's see what happens when we can kind of yank on, try and move the trap door.
Your suspicion is sadly correct. You approach the trap door, but it doesn't open. You try it, it won't budge. You look around to see if it's locked with a key or a padlock or anything like that, but you don't see anything. What you do see, however, is a small hole, maybe about the width of a large coin, near the edge of the trapdoor latch.
Ah.
A slot.
Yeah, almost like the sort of the button that you'd use to reset a phone, but the size of a coin rather than the size of a pin.
Intriguing. But not like there would be no effect if we stuck a finger in there.
Your finger doesn't look like it's quite deep enough to cause an effect.
You don't know my finger.
Well, fingers aren't generally deep either, but I'll stick with my language choice.
Well, what do you think, Dani?
Is it just all dark down there? We can't see anything of interest, or are the bar? I'm picturing the grated sort of
I
bars that we can
understand
see
you're
through.
picturing graded bars, but it is in fact a fully
Okay.
translucent, not translucent. What's the opposite of transparent?
Opaque.
Opaque. It's just wood. It's made of wood, is what I'm saying. It's a big wooden trapdoor.
I mean, we can check out the cannons and the cannonballs gunpowder situation.
That's always fun. How the cannons look.
Can I go to one of the cannons and do sort of the Wile E. Coyote, stick my head inside the cannon?
And I'll grab one
to
of the
see-
lanterns and light the cannon from the other end.
Okay,
to see
sure.
what happens.
So, there are 4 cannons on the deck.
Oh, 4. Okay.
They're all identical, except for one, which has Neil Patrick Harris's head inside of it.
I've got a lighter, and I'm trying to light it.
You don't have a lighter. I'm so sorry. And Dani, the
Darn it.
lanterns themselves aren't lit, and you can't use them to light the cannon, so you can't fire the cannon. I'm so sorry. They all have their fronts sticking out the side of the boat, obviously, rather than facing inwards, which would kill everybody. The cannons are on wheels so that they can roll backwards. However, they are held in place right now with large bolts.
That's what I've been trying to draw, 'cause that's what I assumed, but boy, am I not good at that.
But look, if you wanted to fire it, the gunpowder, the cannonballs, they're ready to go. The gunpowder is dry, the cannonballs are loadable, but you don't have any spark.
Nor any notable reason that I can think of right now for why we would want to
Right.
fire some cannons
Joy?
outside of the fact that I've never done it before.
It does seem like a bucket list thing to do.
Now I want to fire a cannon.
Yeah.
Well, I say we take an empty lantern in the hopes of lighting it soon. Let's go upstairs because the door to the captain's quarters, I'm guessing, is locked. Should
Take
we
it.
check it out just to
Yeah,
make sure?
probably a quick jiggle.
You head to the door to the captain's quarters, and while the door is lovely and ornate and alluring, it is also locked.
With,
A key. It needs a key,
Makes
like a normal
sense.
door.
I believe
I
that.
bet since it's a pirate ship, it needs a skeleton key.
And Dani, what would you think about that?
I think that I argue there is nothing inherently piratey about skeleton keys, unless like the fact that we're on a ghost ship, sure, but
You'd best start believing in skeleton keys, Dani. You'll need one.
ow. Like I think of, I don't know, what's the difference? I feel like this is. Oh my
No, let's
God.
talk about it. Yep, what?
Yeah, talk about skeleton keys.
What's the difference between a skeleton key and a master key?
Well, one sounds more piratey.
I feel like this is a thing that I've read before, and there's totally a difference.
I feel like it's just a period. It's a period situation, right? A master
Yeah.
key makes me think like 70s, 80s, 1990s.
Yeah.
Like master lock. And the skeleton key seems like one of those old timey keys
Yeah.
that's made of metal, like hammered metal that you could just put into any door and open up the door.
A
It's
master key
magic-
goes in a master lock,
I wanted
and a
to say
skeleton key goes into an
But it
old
was
timey
something
lock.
Goes
as
into a
stupid as a
skeleton lock.
master key fits into slightly more locks than a skeleton key.
No.
Ah.
Stop looking up skeleton keys and solve this escape room.
Hey! Slapped a phone out of my hand. About 2 inches to the right.
I think because I've ridden Pirates of the Caribbean at the theme parks and seen Goonie too many times that I just associate
All pirates are skeletons.
pirate ships and skeletons
course.
together.
A master key system of lever locks has the same lever height in all locks. Each door will have different wards and can only be opened by the correctly warded key or the master key.
Wonderful.
A skeleton key has the warded section of the key removed, so it opens all the doors of a system.
So they're the same thing. All right.
Oh, they're absolutely not the same thing. A skeleton key trumps a master key.
Well, unless you believe this person on Reddit who says a skeleton key usually refers to a master key of the old-timey variety.
Nah, that's
which
what we're
seems to
thinking
that
about.
seems to
Better.
support your
That's
thesis.
better. I like this.
I am so glad you did not edit this part out of the podcast.
This is the only part that stayed in. It's a 3-minute episode where we talk about keys.
This might be a 10-minute room. We have to keep our options
Suffice to say, the door is locked.
open. Fine,
Can
fine.
can I suggest that they're spiral staircases?
Yeah, sure. They're little. They're like the
just
half
get
spiral.
one
There's not
little
time for a full spiral. They
Yeah,
do that.
half
You know, on a
spirals up.
ship, they do that like boop,
Yeah,
boop
exactly.
kind of stairs.
Makes sense.
How does it go?
You know, it goes like
How does it go again?
boop.
Right, that kind.
Yeah, it's a
Now,
bit like
go
a
up
boop.
Let's go up the boo part.
how the hell do I draw that?
All right, let's go upstairs.
Okay.
You head to the stairs. I have a question for you. Heading up the port side stairs or the starboard side stairs?
Oh, good question.
Hold on, let me picture. Well, I definitely pictured portside cannon, and then doing a race across. I'm going starboard.
Ooh, the starboard
Going
side
across,
stairs.
quick jiggle of the door, keep going, off to the right.
Okay. You start heading up the stairs, and as you do, you notice something about these stairs. They are perfectly functional stairs, but they seem to have some carvings in them.
Ooh, I like that.
Ooh.
It's only 5 steps up.
Whoops.
But you do see carvings on each of these. But for people at home, you can see these starboard stairs carvings. Neil, would you like to describe what you're seeing for the people at home?
I would love to. There's five images, and they're stacked on top of each other. So if we start at the top, it looks like there's a picture of a bird, maybe a dove. It's facing left, and it has a wing, so it's in profile. And then there's a minus symbol, and then 2 sets of waves. And then next to it is a addition sign, like plus. Then below that is an image of someone maybe shivering. Their arms are crossed, and there's like movement symbols on either side, minus a profile of someone either giving me not the middle finger, but the first finger, probably asking me to be quiet. And then next to that is another addition symbol. The third line down has what's either a ladder that has fallen three-dimensionally backwards, or more likely some sort of train track.
Yep, lovely.
And then there's another minus symbol, and then either a hatchet or an axe. There's no addition symbol next to that one. The fourth row has a white mouse or rat, and then minus a cup, like a mug with 3
Stink
it
lines.
looks like it's hissing. There's like
stink lines is so
essence
rude.
coming out of it. Yeah, it's a terribly smelling mug of something that has, it looks like it has a single eyeball, or perhaps that could be a cup of tea, like the
Maybe.
and then there's a plus on that one too at the end of it. And then the bottom row has one single visual, which is a bell. Some sort of, it looks like a bell that you would call a servant with in old times.
This is a rebus-y thing, right?
Yep,
Let's
straight up
just
rebus.
Put the words
So let's go
plus minus the things.
duck minus water equals doctor. No. Bird minus
Do you
sea.
reckon?
Okay, go on.
I like that. Do you reckon it's a seagull?
Oh my gosh. that
I
makes
don't know
perfect
where
sense.
gull could go, but who knows?
Well, let's write it down. Gull on the first one.
Yep.
Plus, and then the next one we have like a shiver minus and shush.
Sounds
So maybe
good.
hiver?
Iver?
Or iver.
Ooh,
Gulliver?
okay. I like where that's going.
Iver, like where that's going. Then plus, we have a tracks
Minus hatchet.
minus axe. I'm stuck. Tracks minus axe.
For people following at home, if you ever want to know Dani's biggest pet peeve in life, is when she does that, and then the person she's talking to says, "Oh, no, I think probably it's actually axe, not hatchet." She's like, "Yeah, I know. I'm doing a bit."
That's why she likes me, because I just laugh incessantly at her jokes. So wait, tracks minus axe, does that mean we take out the ACKS?
I assume I've just written down TR. That's
TR, okay.
I reckon that's the best you can go for.
How do you get that? Because we have Gulliver, and then we have Tra. I don't know how that makes no sense to me.
Good point.
And
No.
then
We'll find out.
we have
Rat minus stinky
minus
eyeball.
coffee. Rat minus coffee. Wait, no, it's mouse minus mug. Nope. Wait a second. Hold the phone. Rat minus tea
Which
would
I
be
s-
raw.
Yep.
The Egyptian god of the sun.
Oh my gosh, you guys, this is taking a very Indiana Jones turn. And then we
And then a
wind
bell.
up with bell or a vul. We
Okay.
wind up with vuls.
This started making sense with Gulliver at
Gulliver-
the start, and then it's Trarabel.
Trouble. We have TR plus RA plus BELL.
It's awfully close to saying Gulliver's Travels.
It is maybe someone who's drowning in the water, And there's like Gulliver's Travel.
I love it. It's very thematic.
Now,
we're close to Gulliver's Travels.
Does this mean that that is indeed what happened to the wife or other important people on the ship? They fell overboard while reading and couldn't get the last words out.
I think so.
Or they
but
were
they
taken
had time
to the
carve something into the step.
It makes sense to me. Or were they taken to the mystical horse island?
That is. They went to the mystical horse island. They were killed by the horses there.
They would
Okay.
never.
And these are on the 5 steps going up, yeah?
Yes, on the starboard side steps as you go up. Now you look like you've had a good bit of fun solving that one. So I can tell you what happens when you reach the top of the stairs.
Oh,
Yes,
right. We were walking
please.
You
upstairs.
were walking upstairs. You arrive at the top of the stairs to where you could see the steering wheel from before, and you do see the steering wheel in front of you, ready, the helm if you prefer. And you also see, lying on the ground next to the helm, the skeleton
Oh, boy.
of the long dead helmsman.
Exciting.
Is it Chris Helmsman or
It
Liam
is.
Helmsman?
No, it's the third one that no one knows.
Larry.
Larry Helmsman.
Larry Helmsman.
It looks like it's been there for a while. The bones are white, the clothes are nothing more than rags. The position of the skeleton suggests that he died face down.
Oh man, I just drew a skeleton skull face up.
Ah, better be face down.
Why did I start with the feet? The skeleton feet are the hardest part.
You don't have to. You know you can write the word skeleton,
Wait,
and
what?
then
Billy.
there's a skeleton there.
Come on.
Come on,
But yes,
Billy.
you find a
Come on.
skeleton wearing ragged old clothes.
Wait, he has clothes on?
Oh, why am
Billy?
I drawing so many ribs?
Their clothes are
It's
nothing
so
more than rags, but the
cold.
rags are still there.
Right, give me a second. I gotta flip him over.
What does a scapula look like?
Big triangle.
Okay, and rags.
Ask
Okay,
me any
maybe
bone, I'll
just
tell you what it looks like.
Dress the skeleton. Rags to riches. His face down. Are his hands in any weird positions?
Is he draped over something?
Is he
No,
holding
it
anything?
looks like he's fallen. He's not holding anything in his hands. His hands are in the positions of a skeleton.
Near the helm.
Near the helm. He's fallen as if he had fallen while manning the helm.
Fairly proud. Fairly proud.
That's a lovely little skeleton.
Oh, man.
Fairly proud.
So good.
Well, clearly that's Gulliver, and his travels ended badly.
That's how I remember
Wait,
it.
quick question. Are we one person
Yes.
or two?
Oh, yeah.
You know what? Why don't you be two? We so rarely get to be two people. Go ahead and be two people.
I
Interesting.
call the peg leg.
You know you were just a modern day person sailing around the English Channel.
Nay, I have a peg leg.
Well, you know,
Just you wait.
there you are. You can have a peg leg. But I will say this now, so no one worries about it. The width of your peg leg is wider than a coin.
God dang it.
I see what you're trying to do.
You got
You have a wide peg leg.
All right, all right. Do his tattered clothes have any pockets?
An interesting question, to which the
Great
answer
question.
is yes.
Now I
What's in
gotta
the
draw that.
pocket? What's in the pocket?
You reach into the pockets of his pants and you find, very aptly, a pocket watch.
Oh.
It's a nice, heavy silver pocket watch. It doesn't run, but you can, spin the dial to set the time to whatever times you want.
Good to know. Good to know.
Could that fit inside of a slot?
Would have thought that a
No.
pocket watch was bigger, but yeah, it's got to do
Right.
something. If we can wind it, then I'm guessing either somehow it will slot into somewhere and we can use it to open something, or it itself will pop open when we get a time right.
Oh, is it closed?
It is not closed. You can see the
Got
face and you can change the hands.
Got it.
I still
Hey,
don't
as
trust
long
it.
as we're standing next to this skeleton near the helm, can we examine said helm and see, like, try and turn the wheel or see if any of the spines pull
Excellent
out?
plan.
Any plan? Can we
Uh,
honk it? Does the middle have a horn that we can honk? Like,
Why did-
"Meow."
Why wasn't that a thing?
Boats with horns?
I mean, pirate ships with horns, at least.
Yeah, true.
It's so much easier than shouting at the other boat.
Avast! On the horizon, it be Blackbeard. I can listen to his horn. Be that a donkey? No, 'tis the cry of Blackbeard's ship.
The SS Donkey.
Ooga.
Yeah, it's got a little bike horn on it. Oh. All right. That's the sound of a pirate going to blow the horn. It sounds like this. It's doop 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 boop doop doop doop. Oh.
What's the sound equivalent to giving out a badge?
Yeah, can we make this a new sound? We'll record it as a ringtone for someone. We'll cut that bit of the show, make it a little MP3. You can. All right.
Choose your favorite horn sound.
The wheel is a standard ship wheel. It's set on a wooden post. It's a big, large wheel. It moves freely. If you want to give it a spin, you can give it a spin, Neil.
I spin it completely around just one full time.
You go around one full time.
Mm-hmm.
And as you do, it starts to click. Nothing happens. But you hear almost like a little ratchet go tick as you spin it once.
Almost like a safe.
Something is definitely happening as you rotate.
It's registering.
Can we turn it the opposite direction a full turn?
You turn in the opposite direction a full turn, nothing clicks. It turns, nothing happens.
Okay. So can we then spin it the clicky way a whole bunch of times? Like just spin it, spin it, spin it.
You grab that wheel and you spin it like you're trying to...
Raise the anchor.
You know that scene from that obscure show, How I Met Your Mother, where they're playing in the casino and there's the big wheel every time they do a hand of this obscure
That's
Chinese game.
That's not the one I was going for.
And then they look back at the wheel and it spins.
I was going for Price is Right.
No, I wanted to go for something that was a Neil Patrick Harris reference.
That's what I was. That is also
I'm so intrigued.
Oh, you're right. Good point. Yeah, you should give it a watch sometime. It's good.
Really?
Yeah.
I hear it's a very handsome show. Alison Hannigan, I hear, is very handsome on the show.
Of course. Actually, in the notes, it does say you spin it as if you're a player on Price is Right. So.
Oh, it does?
It does.
Hey, nice.
You spin it as if you're a player on The Price is Right. And after several revolutions...
You do recall Price is Right was a significant
also
moment in How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, that's true.
True that. By the way, sidebar.
We're taking the
Bob Barker, one of the nicest people you will have ever met. That was one of those singular moments in my life where, yes, I was on a television show, which was very exciting. But we went and filmed at the actual Price is Right stage. And we were I got to run up and stand there and then be called up and spin the wheel and hug Bob Barker as my father was one of the weirdest, loveliest moments that one could imagine. It was as good as you could imagine it was. It was literally
fantastic.
that great.
That's exciting.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, you spin the wheel.
The wheel is spinning, yeah.
The wheel is spinning. I have to get this under control. I can't trust Dani anymore because she's playing. You're spinning the wheel as if you're a player on Price is Right. After several revolutions, you hear a thunk. And you see that a compartment has opened up
Oh, dang.
on the wheel post.
Nice.
I did not think that was honestly going to work.
And it did.
Same. Where is this compartment?
It's
in
just
the middle?
right underneath the wheel in the post. You can reach straight
got
in.
it. Okay.
And as you do, you take out a piece of paper.
I like paper.
And you see written on this
What?
paper a set of handwritten directions.
Oh.
No, I can either give you these directions written out or I can read them out to you if you'd like me to read them.
How
to
exciting a voice would it be? Or are you going to force that on me?
Yeah, can you do a fun pirate voice?
I'll do the pun pirate. All right. It says, head south out the port until the last of the fishing boats are behind you. Turn southwest until the kink in the channel at which you'll follow it to head west. Once you reach the lighthouse with the pink and orange roof, go south, me hearties. Follow this path until dusk, and then head towards the sun. When it is no longer there to follow, go south until you spot the flag of the Port of Lisbon.
These don't sound that nefarious. This sounds like a very generous set of directions to give to someone trying to get to Lisbon.
But on the way, you'll pillage, and you'll attack any ship you see. Fire the cannons and sink those ships, and take from the sea the flotsam and jetsam that is the booty of that ship.
This is
Kill everyone who opposes you!
Now, I don't know much about the history of the English Channel and what nefarious things went on there, but for something that people now just swim across in a couple of days, if they're feeling fit enough, this is a lot of action.
If you see anybody swimming the channel, take them aboard the ship, then make them walk the plank, and they'll continue their journey perfectly fine.
What fun.
Look, the ship is not canonically a pirate ship. It is just a ship that was out heading to Lisbon. We've invented the pirate element here, but I'm enjoying it.
It has cannons.
Every ship has cannons. You got to protect yourself from pirates.
To be clear, we head south out the port, turn southwest, then we head west.
Yes.
Once to the lighthouse, go south to dusk, to the sun, then go dusk. Then we head to the sun. We go south to the flag of the port of Lisbon.
That is correct. You have all of those in order and correct from what I've written.
Okay, great. Well, I feel like we're going to have a lot of action ahead of us.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm feeling that we're going to be shooting cannons. We're going to be sailing this ship in specific directions. I cannot wait.
Do we have any sort of ability to follow these directions, should we choose? Like to just basically go, all right, let's just steer this thing south for a while we inspect other things that are aboard.
You can try, but the ship that you're in is still enshrouded in a ghostly mist, and you can't even see if the ship is
fair.
moving through real space right now, or whether it's in a ghostly plane.
All right.
I think that we should go down the port stairs.
To see if they've got anything else.
I would go belly first so that my face is right by the stairs to see if there's anything like written on those stairs in the same way that there were on the starboard stairs.
Of course. And why look down when you can just slide on your belly?
Right, because then it's like, you get to do the fun like. When I also have a peg leg.
Yeah, that's
just be
true.
an extra gunk with each
Easier.
one.
Yeah, so as you slide down the stairs, it's like dum-dum-kang, dum-dum-dum, as a
I'm a
peg leg.
percussionist at heart.
Perfect. You slide down these portside stairs, and you do see there are carvings on the portside stairs as well.
Wait,
Did not occur to me.
I will send you a link to the portside stairs. Dani, would you like to describe this to the audience at home? If you are playing at home, you can see this in the show notes below, but Dani will explain to you what is carved into the port stairs.
Well, much like the Reba sea things from before, there are 5 separate things that seem to be roughly going top to bottom. And to my mind, I would call these clock faces because they are circles and they have 2 lines coming from the center of the circles, one slightly shorter than the other. So it looks very much like a clock face, an hour hand, and a minute hand for each of them. The first one looks like it's about 12:30. Second one, 9:15. Maybe 10:15. Can't really tell at that angle exactly.
Sure.
Next one's a clear midday. Next is the classic watch commercial 10 past 10. And then a 6:30 or an upside down 12. I can't guarantee anything. Neil went face first, so it's hard to know
These
whether I should have these upside down.
To a normal person's approach to the stairs.
My ribs hurt, and I totally disagree. I think what this is the 80s game Pac-Man with his mouth shut, looking for ghosts, and he's looking south,
His
and then he's
mouth
like,
is...
"Wait, whoa!" He's looking west. That would be east, I guess. And then he's like, "Oh, north." He's like smiling a little bit, and then like south again. But
Some
maybe
of those,
you're right. No,
his mouth is way too smiley. Those are Joker smiles for some of them.
come on. He's so happy he gets to eat the ghosts every once in a while.
I'm sorry, Captain. Your wife got Pac-Man. No one wants to hear that.
I think you're totally right. If we only had some sort of clock.
Mm-hmm.
This is a thinker.
I can't deal with this energy from both of you.
Wait one second. In me pocket, I'm holding, methinks, a pocket watch.
You are.
Excellent.
Can I spin the pocket watch to those particular times in that particular order?
Yes, so you set them to, and Dani, you are completely correct.
Hell yeah.
You set them to 12:30, 9:15, 12, 10:10, and 6:30, and the watch pops open. The face pops off the front of the watch, and you see inside, hidden between the actual mechanisms of the clock, a golden key.
Oh, hell yeah.
Sorry, I'm asthmatic.
Well, you have a gold key.
I mean, let's door that gold key.
You take it to the large, ornate door to the captain's quarters, and they open.
Nice.
The doors creak open, and they reveal a small room. There's not a lot of stuff in the room, although you're sure it's a lot nicer than any of kind of crew quarters that might be tucked away. To your left, there is a large bookcase, and beside that, there is a desk with a modest chair tucked away behind the desk. And on the far side of the room, there is a bed, and at the foot of the bed, there is a large trunk. And those are the things in the captain's quarters.
Shelf, chair. Oh, this is going to look like a toilet. Oh, God, it's a toilet.
Yeah, I drew a toilet too for the chair at the desk.
Yes, there's a chair and desk, not a toilet.
It's a commode. It's a throne.
Yeah, it's a captain's throne. It's just a normal chair, but that's... Yeah.
Definitely
Looks like a toilet.
And my pen stopped
On
working.
ships in those days, all they did was sit on toilet chairs.
They knew how to keep things efficient. Maybe I should draw some books. Well, tell me, should I draw some books?
I know I was about to make the very same connection because my first instinct based on the clues that we've already had would be to go to the books, find Gulliver's Travels, and look through it. However, I just feel like we're getting ahead of ourselves, and I kind of want to just slowly explore the room and see if there's more fun to be had. So, Dani, choose something else.
Oh, well, I was just asking, should I draw books? Because I have drawn one rectangle
I will
on my
say
bookshelf.
you should draw books.
Okay, there we go. All right, well, then it feels like it's only right to check out this toilet.
Okay, it's not a
Nice.
toilet, it's a chair.
It looks
And-
exactly like a toilet, though, but you can
Look,
sit on it.
It looks like a wooden chair. It is sturdy,
Toilet.
despite the fact that it's probably about 300 years old.
Nice, with a hole missing in the bottom that you can poop into.
With a full, solid, normal seat. And
That you
someone
can poop into.
has carved a message, an intricate message in pirate handwriting across the top that says, "This is definitely not a toilet." Please.
Abandon hope, all ye who poop here.
Exactly.
Abandon poop, all you who enter here.
No, that's not true. It's not a toilet. It is a chair. It looks like a chair. Sturdy.
I sit on it to make sure.
You sit on it, it holds your weight perfectly. As a chair does.
Dani, come here. I want to talk to you for a second.
Yeah. Go away.
Boy, Bill went out of his way to not yes and us on the chair's a toilet thing, right? So
This
this
is-
clearly means that the chair's there's something with the chair.
You know what?
Otherwise he would have said it's just a toilet chair.
You know what I've been saying recently that I
Go
think is
on.
more fun than yes and, which is instead of yes and, what you should
Yeah.
say is, oh, quite the opposite. Which I also think would have been an interesting direction for him to take.
Oh, okay. Let's try that one. Actually, quite the opposite. In the center of the chair, there's like a big spike going straight upwards. So that if you sit on the chair...
Hold on. I retcon my sitting.
Sorry. I'm sorry, Bill. We're kind of in the middle of a sidebar.
Oh,
here, if
sorry.
you don't mind.
I'll leave. Sorry, bye.
Yeah, thanks. So here's what I'm
You're
thinking
right.
about this wooden chair. There must be something to it. There must be. We must have to deal with maybe the legs. We maybe have to stand on top of it.
You
we might have to.
You remember that scene in Holy Grail where you can tell if someone's a witch if they're made of wood? Is this the wife?
Could be. We clearly should not poop anywhere near this chair because we will
that'll
not
break
get
it.
yes
That'll
and
break things.
or on the other side. What did you say?
Quite the
Instead of?
opposite.
Quite
the opposite. The chair poops on you.
Bill, if you don't mind.
Oh, sorry.
Well,
I'm out.
in the-
How does this keep happening?
I think we should examine this chair a little more. I think we should try and see if we can get one of the legs apart. There's clearly a reason why this is a wooden chair and not a toilet. Okay, hey Bill.
Oh, yep.
Do those chair legs fit into the hole outside?
No. It's just a chair. It's just a normal chair. It's just a normal
looks like
chair.
a
It's
toilet
just an
chair, though,
innocent
right?
chair.
Okay. Is there? Can we look? Can we pull apart the chair? Can
You
we
cannot pull
look?
apart the chair.
What if we look at the
Oh,
bottom of
boy.
the chair, underneath the
Oh.
chair?
You look underneath the chair, you pick it up, you flip it over, and right underneath the chair, right where there would be a piece missing if it were a toilet, you see nothing. It's a chair.
Okay. Okay. Bill, give us 1 second.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Can you
I'll
give
leave.
us,
Yeah.
Bill? Can you give us 1 second?
Yeah, no, I'll just
Dani?
take a break.
This must
Hey,
be just one
Dani.
of these things where there's more clues to get later, right?
Agreed. Yeah, and I think it might. Honestly, I think it might just be a chair, and he's just being, stubborn in
But
his improvisation skills. Otherwise,
He's got
why
a
wouldn't he
poker
say it's a
face. I don't know
chair?
what to do.
Why
If you
wouldn't
guys
he
could
just
just
say it's a
actually, sorry,
regular-
if you guys could just give me a second alone with the audience. If you could just
Oh,
take
yeah,
a step
sure.
back, I just gotta.
Yeah, I'll be back here.
Yeah, Jeff. Hey, audience, they're never going to find out about this secret chair. Oh, I've tricked them into thinking it's just a normal chair. They're never going to know. They're never going to know the true chair secrets. These idiots. So you guys can come back in. It's
Okay,
just a chair.
Nice, thanks. Is this chair near a desk?
It is near a desk.
Hey, can we check out that desk?
Yeah, sure.
Is it made of wood? Because I swear.
So this desk, this must be where the captain sat to do his work, which is a euphemism because the desk has a huge circle in the middle. It's a toilet.
Nice.
Let's try that one again. This must be where the captain sat to do his work. It's a full desk. It has little desk drawers and
Okay.
other than that, it's at the moment there's nothing on the desk. Just a nice wooden desk, but with some drawers in it.
Pull those drawers.
Yeah, baby.
You open the drawers, and you find in one drawer, you see a leather logbook. You'd want to open it and read it. However, much like a diary, it has been locked with a 4-digit combination lock.
Ooh.
And also, beside the book, you find a ceramic match tin.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait a
A-
second.
a
We need
tin
matches.
for
With
matches.
with matches?
Well, if you open it up, you do find some surprisingly dry and preserved matches that you can use.
How old was this boat again?
Look, it was 300 years
Oh
old.
boy, those are some dangerous matches.
So they could well be pretty dangerous matches.
Oh,
I think
they've
back then they were
probably
just
got-
like
they're
covered
probably
in
made of
nitroglycerin,
acid.
and if you look at them wrong, they explode. But that's fine. And also, the lid of the match tin that you find has an engraving on it,
Ooh.
which I could read to you, but instead I will give you a little copy of what is written on the matched tin.
Oh, it's beautiful cursive engraving.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like imagine a Tiffany's tin.
Hey, I'm Tiffany,
it says-
and I love to engrave these tins. I do like cursive. It's very nice.
If our eyes are to never close, the darkness still seeps, comma, even in eternal light. Or if you're a one-legged pirate like I am, if our eyes are to never close, the darkness still seeps, even in eternal light.
Dani has a look on her face like she's trying to do something, but she's confused.
I really am.
Yeah,
I'm just looking at this. I'm disarmed, trying to figure out if this is cryptic and will have more meaning later, or if there is something hidden in it that I should be seeing right away.
Yeah, same. So I'm looking at this like first like a crossword puzzle clue, and then I'm looking at like a cryptic crossword puzzle clue, and then I'm looking at it to see like if there are numbers hidden
Yep.
within the words. So if our eyes, there is
That's,
4
That could be a 4.
is in if our 4 eyes are to, that doesn't make sense. Never close the lows. Seven.
Even. Seeps even has a 7.
Seeps even 7. Nice. In eternal.
Even in eternal.
9, even in eternal. And
That's
Oh
a
my
mean
gosh.
one. Okay,
4, 7, 9. Wait, don't we have a 4-digit combination?
Yeah,
on
there
the,
must be
on
a
the
4th one in
logbook?
here that we haven't
you do
seen.
have a 4-digit.
4
Combination.
eyes.
What didn't we see?
2, 1, 2
Oh my
never.
god, 2 never
has
is a 1,
in
not a
it.
tone. Ugh.
Oh, that's so fun. I love these. So
Very
4, 1, 7, 9 would open the logbook, baby?
You head to the logbook
Uh-huh.
and you try 4179 into the lock, and the logbook clicks open.
Yeah.
Oh my stars, we did it.
There is only one entry in this logbook. Must have been a fresh new logbook he'd bought just for this entry. And it says, February 13, 1748. First day of the honeymoon voyage towards Portugal. It is a superstition among the sailors that women should not go on board, but the whole crew was glad to have her. They are all currently below deck celebrating, other than the helmsman, of course, and I will join them shortly. It sounds like they're all having a great time, but I've had a sneaking suspicion for a while now that one of my crew is getting too close to my wife. I'll have to keep an eye on him. The voyage is 1,110 miles long. It should be an easy journey. The only concerning area would be the treacherous Goodwin Sands, known for wrecking hundreds of ships already. But Kerfoot is the best helmsman I know. As long as he is at the wheel, we have nothing to worry about.
Oh no, he's dead. We're in trouble.
So the skeleton's name is Kerfoot.
Well, that's a bummer. Be suspicious of one of your sailors and your wife on your honeymoon.
What did we learn from the log entry? 1748.
Everyone's in the underbelly of the ship.
We're heading, like, we're scared of the Goodwin Sands. Kerfoot is the helmsman. Is he the one that we're suspicious of? That
Didn't
the
sound
Sands
like
is suspicious of? I'm sorry, Simon Reed is suspicious of?
No, you haven't heard any specific suspicions about Kerfoot.
We just know there's suspicions about someone.
Yeah, someone's too close to his wife.
Okay, so I feel like this is great backstory.
And
But
you do
maybe-
need to know what happened on that
true.
fateful
Right,
night. to
But maybe
appease
it's
the
not
ghost.
an immediate solver.
Could we connect like 1,110 miles eventually to the journey of heading south, southwest, west, and
Oh,
south,
that's
maybe?
interesting. Not impossible, I guess. If we end up finding more about
That
that.
seems like a lot of maths.
Are you feeling ready for this bookcase yet?
I mean, we still have a bed and a trunk. But if you want to go Gulliver's Travels on all up in this business, let's go.
Ready to show off that I have read most of that book.
All right.
And
well,
by the way, I don't think it's going to be Gulliver's Travels. I think it's going to be Gulliver's Travels.
Gulliver Travels.
there you are. The bookshelf. Well, the captain must have been an avid reader because it is stuffed with books and so tall that you can't even reach the top. The years and the salty air have not been good for the book covers, but you're able to read some of the titles and you see that it's mainly 18th century classics like Robinson Crusoe, maybe Fanny Hill, Tale of the Tub. Oh, maybe you get like Defoe's History of the Pirates. Oh, man, it's a bit too early. Just a bunch of books from the 1700s.
Was that the one that was actually Defoe? Or
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Any kind of 1700s books that might take your fancy?
I can't even think of one.
Not even one. I'm waiting for you have to say it.
I'm gonna wait. I'm
Yeah.
gonna wait. I'm looking up books.
I can't deal with this energy from both of you.
I
You're
know,
allowed to just
this
say
is
the answer
stressing
to
me
the
out.
thing that you've solved already.
I pull
Just
a chair
tell me.
over and look at the
No,
top
no,
shelf
we
books.
gotta
I
do
look
some
at
No, you know what you're looking
I look
for.
at all of them on the top shelf with a chair.
Okay, you grab the chair. You reach up, you brush past 13 copies of Gulliver's Travels. No,
Oh no, there are 13
No, there's only
copies.
one. But you grab the chair, you stand on top to see if you can get to the top of the bookshelf, and you can. You place your feet firmly in the center of this chair, and you stand up. You reach around on top of the bookshelf. You do find a metal wrench
Oh,
stashed upon the bookshelf. Rusty, but still usable
okay.
What?
Okay.
What?
for wrenching.
I didn't see that coming. I didn't know we had to wrench stuff. And is there a Gulliver's Travels? It's my favorite 1700s
You
one.
do find a copy of Gulliver's Travels. You flip through it, and you don't really find anything interesting. You're looking for hidden clues or passages in the margin, something that you would find in this book that's been led to you. Oh, wait a minute. In between two of the pages of the book, you find tucked away a very thin piece of purple glass.
What shape?
It is like a little pane of glass
Okay,
that could go in a tiny window.
that's adorable. Have we seen a tiny window?
You have seen well, not a tiny window, maybe this big.
The little slot for the trapdoor?
No, the trapdoor would be too.
That
It
was a
wouldn't fit at
circle,
all
wasn't
in
it?
the trapdoor slot. This is a rectangular pane of purple glass. The trapdoor is a circular hole for poking something into.
Where have we seen a small little window?
Didn't make much note of it.
Arr,
Apparently
In
not.
fact, you didn't actually quite look enough to get the details of what this thing looks like.
arr.
So, certain things, there are still lots of things. Maybe we should just go through and look at things, because I do feel there were still a few things we haven't fully looked at.
Sure.
Or looked at all in some cases. So, maybe we should do a quick check of this bed and trunk.
Arr. Why think we look at the bed?
It's a small bed with a very old mattress on it. You take a seat and you feel something hard underneath you. You're lifting up the mattress, you find a picture frame. You guess it's a picture of the captain and their wife on the wedding day, surrounded by members of the crew. On the back it says, "Congratulations, Captain, from the crew. Alexander Matthews, John Rivers, William O'Toole, Derek Borton, Patrick Kerfoot. Don't need to write those down. I'll give this to you in a second.
Phew.
For some reason, all the names have a strike through them. Maybe that's just how people signed their names back then. And I can show you this, not the full picture, but the note on the back.
Oh.
So you can see those names all sort of crossed out through the center.
They are. They are just crossed out names, all right?
They are just crossed out names.
What? Okay, so Alexander Matthews is crossed out. Then John Rivers crossed out. William O'Toole. Then Derek Borton. And then Patrick Kerfoot, as we know, was the helmsman.
Yeah, Kerfoot is such a notable name that it feels like there's a clue hidden there, but the others are very normal feeling.
Yeah.
I don't see any puns in Alexander Matthews.
I'm trying to look at their first and last initials, AM and JR, but there's not a lot of vowels. And it's strange that they're all crossed out. I would have hoped that a few of the letters would have not been crossed out. We could have solved it in some way.
No.
So maybe this just gives us a little background on the crew as potential suspects.
Yeah, you know the names of the crew?
Yeah, possibly. Crossed out thing is awfully somethingy. But I can't see it right now.
That's all right.
Anything about this chest, this trunk?
So the trunk, it's a large trunk. It's locked with a key. And by that I mean you would need a key to unlock it. You do not have that key.
Naturally.
The outside is very ornate, and it must have been very beautiful back in the day. It was probably used to transport and hold clothing, other belongings. It's like a big suitcase.
All right, so I feel like we've looked at... Is that everything in here that we have looked at?
Have we given everything a good search? We just looked in the drawers of the desk. Should we look under the desk, around the desk?
No, there's no need to search any further in the captain's quarters for little hidden gadgets and gadgets.
Taken all of the little bits and pieces.
Let's check our inventory. Yeah, wrench, glass, picture frame, matches.
I like the matches. I'm trying to figure out whether to light a cannon or light a lantern.
Is there a finite number of matches?
No. Pragmatically, no.
Wow.
Okay, I mean, they're ghost matches. Ooh. Every time you take one, a new one appears.
A non-finite number of matches is a powerful thing to unleash upon the world. I feel like the lanterns themselves may be something that we didn't give a huge amount of looking at. All we said was, no, they're not really lit.
No, so if you have a look closer at the lanterns, it's a standard lantern. It's a metal frame with little glass windows on all the sides. And there is still oil in the lantern. It is lightable. You just need something to light it.
So we have that. And you say that it's got little glass windows, yeah.
Yeah, would a purple piece of glass go inside the lantern?
If you look at the purple piece of glass, the one-horned flying purple piece of glass that you have.
I was in a movie called Purple People Eater.
Oh, there you are.
Second movie I ever did.
Aww.
Really?
Shelley Winters and Ned Beatty. God rest both their souls.
Dang.
Well, then you'll be familiar with this piece of glass, which fits perfectly into the pane frame of this lantern. You can remove an existing piece of glass, and the purple one would slot right in.
All right.
It's almost like an old time black light.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
That's exactly what I'm hoping. When we light it, it shoots off an eerie purple light.
When you light the lantern, it does have a section now that is bathing the chill and dark ghostly deck with a sort of purple. In fact, I'd say it's very purple. I'd say it's ultra purple light that you could use to look around.
All right. What could we need that for? What is suspicious enough that it might have extra things hidden in ultra purple?
Was this Nikki Tan that did this?
Nikki Tan.
I think it's Nikki 11 after the black light. I think it's a good addition.
Perfect.
Let's run.
This Nikki goes up to 11.
Can we run to the stairs and look at the scribbles on the stairs?
You run to the stairs. You take your lantern. You shine it all over the stairs, the carvings, and there's nothing different.
Gah! What about the Gulliver's Travel book?
You take it to the Gulliver's Travel book. You slide every single page, and nothing is different.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
What about the congratulations note where all the things are scratched out?
Crossed out names. You grab the names. You see the current, like before you shone the light, right? They had the lines went through every single letter.
Yeah.
You shine the torch on them through the purple light, and the line goes through every single letter, and nothing has changed.
Damn it!
How about the front of the portrait? Has someone like scribbled funny moustaches and things on them?
On the front of the portrait, you see the picture of the captain and his wife remains unchanged by the purple light.
Wow.
All right, whatever.
So nothing.
What about those directions? The compassy directions that told you to head south a lot.
You take them out of your
God's
pocket.
sakes, I
look
hate
the
you.
compass directions. And what previously said south and southwest now says south and southwest because nothing has changed.
What is happening? Okay. I think we need to wait on this because
I think we need to fire it out of a cannon. It's useless.
Bill's so cocky in his dismissive improv that I think that we're gonna have to use this blacklight lantern down in the trapdoor area.
That could be true.
I don't think we've found it yet because otherwise it would be bookshelf, desk, bed, trunk. There's nothing to see there.
Captain's quarters. You've pretty much covered it.
And then we've seen up where the helm is.
Have you been up in
in
the
the
helm?
main room.
You did the stairs.
Haven't we? Yeah, we walked around and looked at the skeleton and the...
Oh,
Not
yeah,
the
but
skeleton.
not with the...
Oh, not with the black
black
light.
Okay, let's look at the skeleton and with the blacklight.
You head to the skeleton. You take out your purple light in a lantern. You see this,
I hate you
and
so
before
much.
it was lying there, a skeleton with ragged clothes. But in the light of your purple lantern,
I hate you so much.
it is different.
Wait, it is!
It looks purple now.
You shine your purple light over the remains of that human skeleton by the wheel, and it reveals bloodstains.
Oh.
Ancient bloodstains that you were not able to see before. The bloodstain is concentrated around the skull of the skeleton, so probably bleeding heavily from his head. And over by the skeleton's hand, the hand that was so normally placed when you looked at it without the black light,
Ooh.
you see some bloodstains that don't look natural. They don't look like they've flown from his head normally. It's a bunch of squiggly lines drawn by the helmsman's finger in the last moments of his life.
Oh, exciting.
And I will show you what
I
those
feel like
are.
we're on an episode of CSI Goodwin Sands.
Okay,
right.
yeah, these are...
There you are. Danny, would you like to describe this to the audience at home who can see it themselves if they would like in the show notes?
I'd love to try. These are squiggles.
They are squiggles.
We've got two elongated S-like ones, and within those two are smaller elongated S-like ones. If I were going to judge, I would say this looks like a section of loosely drawn river or waterway. Perhaps a kink in the channel where it starts to go west.
Oh, nice.
What is it that someone would do if they had just been hit and were with the last ounce of their life? What do people classically do?
Maybe they used their own blood to write SS. Can we look at what are the names of all the other people?
What are the names of the other people?
There are no S's. Oh, except for, there's Alexander Matthews, John Rivers, William O'Toole, Derek Borton, and Patrick Kerfoot. I'm suspicious of this John Rivers guy. What's the captain's name again? Maybe I should have checked that. Okay.
Simon Reed.
Less
But you
likely.
did identify that blood as looking like a river.
I very much did. So maybe
Nice.
John
Okay.
Rivers is a non-trustworthy human who sabotaged the ship for some reason.
It could be John. We still need something to open the trapdoor.
We really do.
You do.
Okay. How much can our wrench dismantle a cannon?
Well, the wrench can't really dismantle the cannon itself.
But the cannon stand?
But the cannon was bolted to the ground so as not to move
Right.
around. You with the wrench, you can unbolt the cannons, so they are now free to move.
Oh, I'm glad this boat isn't moving too much. Don't want them rolling around. Were any of the cannons sitting on top of anything?
Well, you try and move the cannons by hand, and even though there are the wheels there, they're sort of old, they're hard to get moving, a lot of inertia on that cannon, and they're just a bit too heavy for you to move by hand.
Oh, why don't we put a cannonball in and gunpowder and set off one of the cannons while it's untethered? And it'll shoot it. The force will shoot the cannon backward, and we can see what's underneath it.
That could be a way to do it. Or if we need something else to move a cannon, we could lever it with a chair.
That's why the chair has had the solid No, I think the first idea might have been
whatever.
You load up the cannon, you fill it with gunpowder and the shot, and with your newly acquired infinite supply of matches, you light the cannon and boom! It fires, it rolls across the deck and uncovers nothing. You might have to fire 3 more cannons.
Oh, for God's sake.
Oh, boy.
I don't
Let's
know.
do the third cannon.
Once was enough for the bucket
list. The third
list,
cannon fires, boom! It flies across the deck, and underneath you see something. You find a loose belaying pin. And what is a belaying pin, you may ask?
A circle.
For rock climbing, right?
Well, perhaps. In this case, it's an old ship stool. They used to wrap rope around it. It was a pretty... I love... The description here says, it's a pretty standard belaying pin.
Damn it.
I don't know. I had to Google it. It looks similar to like a what you might use to like hone a knife. It is a long, but made of wood. A long cylindrical pole of wood with a knob on top. You notice that the top end is covered in a brown substance that you're quite sure is very old blood along the knob end of this belaying pin. And the rest is a long cylindrical shaft.
Does it fit in the hole?
It's about the width of a coin. The belaying pin inserts down into the hole and the trapdoor opens up.
At last.
What's inside?
The door pops open. It reveals a shallow hole. It's filled with fishing gear, rods and nets. You don't see any fishing lines or hooks. Oh, they'll be in the box that you can see just at the bottom of this shallow hole.
Ah.
But the box is locked with a 7-letter combination.
Oh.
The combination is currently set to newness. Newness, the quality of being new. Newness. Newness.
Huh.
But that doesn't seem to open the box.
What 7-letter words do we know? How about Goodwin?
Kerfoot.
That's 7.
It could be fishing. Where have we had information that might give us a good fishing word?
What 7 letters?
There is also a sort of a hint in the fact that the code is currently reading newness.
Yes.
It is important that that's what's written there.
I'm not surprised.
I see. Old time?
Oh, it's not just pushing all the letters forward one.
No.
Is there another word for newness that is a thing?
No, it's nothing like that. There is something interesting about the word newness. A little, almost like a little trivia fact.
Oh my God, of course. Oh, I see it.
Dani sees
What?
Ah, the letters individually.
North, east,
Yeah,
west.
those are
Got it.
directions.
In fact, if you tried to put in something like Goodwin or any other 7-letter word, you'd quickly notice that each of these letters only has 4 options. It can either be an N, an E, a W, or an S. Those are the only things available.
So
for this
let's switch it out to SSWWSS.
Wait, there was another one in there because it said like when it's dusk, go towards the sun. So that would be another west, right?
It would.
SSW.
nice.
WSWS.
You put
Nice.
SSWWSWS into the fisherman's box, and it opens up. And inside is a collection of fishing hooks and wire.
That's so cool, newness.
Newness is a great
being-
hint. I
That's
really
good.
like
That's
newness.
a great hint.
All right, now why do we want to fish?
I
Where
don't
do we
know.
want to fish?
Well, I don't know. Maybe you just want to fish.
I guess
What
should
would
we just fish?
gain? Yeah, what would we gain from fishing? Sure.
I mean,
Why not?
The real question is, what do you lose from giving it a shot?
Yeah. I'll try. I don't expect much. I assume there are no ancient worms in here.
You put together the fishing pole with the items from the box and you cast it over the edge. Suddenly you feel the hook snag something in this ghostly sea, and you start reeling it in. It's quite heavy. Luckily there are 2 of you to pull it in together. You manage to get it in, and it's sort of a tangle of nets, old fishing nets that must have been caught on the underside of the boat. And then trapped within the ropes of the net, there are 2 skeletons.
Oh dear.
Simon and his wife.
The skeletons are bare. The clothing has disintegrated into the ocean. You can tell that they're the skeletons of a man and a woman. Around the woman's neck is a locket.
Come on. You get right out of town. If there's a key inside that locket, I don't know what I'm going to do.
You struggle. You pop open the locket, and inside there is a key.
What?
Wow.
If we only had a place to put the key. Oh, wait a second, there's a trunk at the end of the bed.
There is a trunk at the end of the bed. You rush to the trunk. You use the key from the locket to open the trunk. And inside you see, carefully folded, women's clothing. On the underside of the lid, there are a series of lines carved into the wood, and I will show those to you.
Excellent.
Neil, would you like to describe what you're seeing to the people at home?
Well, it's different straight lines with a few exceptions. Well, no, they're all straight, no curves. It looks like it almost spells a name, a proper name, because the first two lines are like a TP, an upside down V, almost like an A without the center. And then we have 3 lines near it that are vertical. 4 lines. And then we have almost what looks like an E, but without the tip top of it. And then next to it, we have 2 parallel like uppercase I's or lowercase L's, and then sort of a U, but could be an A. So it could be like Annie La. But how do we? Oh, I get it. If you take a line and you go and you split it in half exactly, it would turn it into an A N N E. And if you keep going on that line, it would make that an H, and then that would turn into an A, Annie Ha.
Well, fair enough. All the other names that we saw were crossed out through the middle.
When you take a little like a tool from nearby, maybe the key, and you scrape across, it does work. Although it does look like it says Anetta rather than Anecha.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh, Anetta. Yeah, 2 lower T's, not a capital H. Anetta.
Anetta.
Okay.
Can we go through the women's clothes? Is there anything in pockets or anything that we can find inside them?
No, there's nothing in the pockets, just a bunch of women's clothes. Outside, you hear the ghostly moaning again of Captain Reed saying, "Where's my wife? I need her to tell me what happened on the ship."
Got it. So we have to take the female skeleton. We have to dress her up in Anetta's clothing.
This is
And we have
grim.
to present her to the ghost of Simon. So that he can see what she's like.
I mean, it's grim, but it feels like an idea.
Yep. Do you want to dress the skeleton up?
Well, I don't want to dress me up.
Why not?
Oh,
It's more fun.
all right.
Creepy. He's going to take her away and murder her.
All right. I guess I'll put on some ghost clothes.
You
But
put on ghost clothes?
I'm going to put some ghost clothes on the other skeleton as well.
Just in case.
Yeah. Just in case this goes badly
You
wrong.
put on your ghost clothes. You can even wear the ghost locket so that you look just like Anetta. You exit the captain's quarters. And then suddenly you hear a voice behind you. "My wife. Is it you?"
No.
Hey, man.
What? Tell me, tell me something that only you would know. Like, what's your name?
Wait, you think that's something only I would...
Yes, what's your name? Prove to me that you're my wife. What's your name?
Annetta.
My wife, Annetta.
Playfully going by Anha.
The ghost of Simon Reed materializes. And he says, "Annetta, tell me what happened to you, the crew, the ship." And I do have an explanation here, but do you know what happened on this ship with the evidence that you've collected?
So, it feels like what we have gathered thus far is that this slimy John Rivers guy killed the helmsman, and it's very unfortunate because apparently he was a dang good helmsman. I do not know why he killed the helmsman.
I think he killed the helmsman to get the ship to smash against the rock, right? Against the sandy beach?
Because he just sucks?
It's a little bit because he just sucks. You definitely know he did the crime. You know that Rivers killed the helmsman. That's what crashed the ship.
Yeah.
So you say, it was your first mate, John Rivers. While you and the rest of the crew were celebrating below deck, Rivers was up here. He was infatuated with me and less inclined to participate in the festivities. He had a lot to drink, and this only fueled his feelings of rage and envy. He took, and what did he do the murder with?
The blood thing.
He took
the thing
the
that had
belaying
blood.
pin,
Yes.
the one that had the blood on it, and he hit the helmsman on the back of the head. There was so much blood. He took over the wheel and steered us into the shifting sands at Goodwin. As the ship was going down, Rivers grabbed me, and together we fell overboard. We were trapped underwater by the fishing nets, and on board there were no survivors. You hear the captain whisper, "Thank you. Thank you for telling me." And you start to see the mist around you dissipate. You're feeling warm again, and in a blink, you are back on your own boats, as if nothing ever happened. You scan the water around you but see no sign of the Lady Loverbond. The ghost ship might be gone forever now that Captain Simon Reed found peace. Or maybe you'll come back in 50 years and once again hear the sound of celebration from an old ship. The end. You did it.
Lovely.
Woohoo! Arr! You know what a pirate's favorite letter is?
Is it R?
You'd think it would be R, but it's the C that they love.
Perfect.